Wisconsin Music Podcast.
Have you ever thought of doing an all-ages venue or an all-ages show?
Definitely, yeah. So I've pretty much grown up in this area. I've moved quite a bit, but for the most part, I've been in central Wisconsin. And I know one of my biggest things about growing up here was there's never anything to do. So I don't want to kind of cut that in the kneecap of like, no, this only is, you have to be able to drink, and then this is swear words and all that. Like, it would be nice to have something for them to be able to go to and enjoy versus just sitting at home playing video games or doing whatever they want to do. Like, have somewhere for them to be also to go to. So yeah, I would definitely be open to that. That's not something I would want to cut out completely in the plans.
Here to introduce you to the great musicians and music businesses and organizations of Wisconsin. Every week, Wisconsin Music Podcast will be bringing you great information on what's happening in the Wisconsin music world. For our music-loving listeners, we'll bring you music that you haven't even heard of yet from unique and talented artists and hear about their journey so far. You'll either hear live performances of their songs or songs from their selected discography. For our musicians out there wondering what they can do to further their recognition, we'll be calling upon Wisconsin music businesses and organizations to enlighten you on what they're doing to help further your music journey. And now, here's your host, Zach Fell.
Thanks, Dean. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wisconsin Music Podcast. This week we have Jacob Haimerl of CWHipHop.com. Jacob is an amateur hip-hop artist, but mostly we're going to be talking about his online radio station,
Here to introduce you to the great musicians and music businesses and organizations,
hip-hop and R&B artists. So let's get right to it. Jacob, thanks for being on the Wisconsin Music Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for syndicating the podcast on your CWHipHop.com online radio station.
Yeah, we love it each week, so I'm glad to be able to play it for you.
Much appreciated. What does CW stand for?
So CW just stands for Central Wisconsin. Growing up, we just kind of had like the CW channel, and there's a ton of other things that had used that. So we're just like, okay, we'll just steal that, the CW for Central Wisconsin here.
And why don't you kind of give us the background on creating CW Hip Hop? What's the origin story for that?
Yeah, so it kind of started as a quarantine project. Buddy of mine made some music, and I was thinking just how do we get this onto the radio? Because I was enjoying his music, and the thought just kind of came over, well, you're not. It's kind of hard to get it onto the radio, so why don't we just go around that and make our own radio station and play a bunch of other music that probably won't ever get on the radio, kind of the same boat that we're in, and just make a community out of that. So just started it back the end of April, and it's been going every week since then. So just kind of a side project to try and build a community of music within Wisconsin here.
So when you started, the main idea obviously was to, like you said, get more recognition for hip hop artists. So kind of tell us a little bit of the beginning of that. So, you know, how you got in contact with people, started out putting their music on CW Hip Hop.
Yeah, so we go to a few live shows before COVID had hit, went to go see them, and I saw there was kind of a audience for it, as well as people who did enjoy making the music. One thing that I saw was kind of lacking was the coordination of it and really presenting it to the broader public just to let them know, hey, this is here. It was a very niche kind of thing. Being up here, we're in Wausau, Wisconsin. It was mostly an older town. So there is a young crowd here, but it's mostly geared towards retirements, things of that activity. So I wanted to try and help make it so that way in the nightlife, there is some sort of avenue of having concerts and live music that is for one of the bigger genres of music, which is hip hop. So with COVID hitting, I kind of saw it as an opportunity to take on that development of it. Stuck inside for most of the time, not being able to go visit anywhere or any other live shows. I kind of took it as a moment to be able to make what I was thinking about. A friend of mine actually made music before COVID, and he came over to my place and we started making some music. And I was thinking, like, we make some good music. It's just, how do we get it to an audience that would be able to hear it, such as like a radio station? And just being honest with myself, I was like, there's no way any radio stations around here are ever going to play our music. So instead of trying to take it to them, why don't we make the radio station and then put our music on there? And once we kind of got that going, it was just kind of building it up, figuring out what a radio station is, what kind of music we were going to play. Being that it's a amateur kind of level, we kind of had to decide, okay, well, obviously we're not going to have the greatest music ever, but what do we make compromise on, or see what we can get. But since we were getting the music kind of collected, I was very surprised by how many artists are in the area, how many good songs they make, how many songs we have. I think right now we have, I was just doing the updates, 16 artists, over 4 hours worth of music, and they're from all over the state. We have 7 here in Wausau. There's a few down in Milwaukee, 1 in Eau Claire. There's 1 in Appleton, Marshfield. So it's kind of a variety all over the state. And that was kind of surprising. I was like, okay, there is a market for having the hip hop audience listen, as well as having the artist make the music and then share it all in one place for the people to listen to.
Right. So do you play an instrument, or?
I've been in a very musical family. Most of my uncle was in a band. One of my other uncles actually makes hip hop music himself, and some other family members do play music themselves. I really didn't. I was going to be in band when I was in like 6th grade. Just kind of my childhood. I moved a lot, so I never got that opportunity to really go into band, but I've always enjoyed that, the music, the rhythm, all that. Just kind of missed that I didn't get to do that. I don't have any instruments that I can play. However, now that I've gotten into this, I definitely want to try in a few, just kind of learning what music is, to read it and all that. So I do make my own music. It is hip hop. I don't want to, it's kind of like an alternative hip hop, like there's hip hop elements, but I don't really try to keep it just to a focus of this is what it has to sound like. If I have a vibe, or if I have something on my mind I want to make a song about, I'll make it. Recently had some personal events come up that I was just kind of on a kick of making music. I think I made like 7 songs in 14 days just to kind of get out what I was feeling and just experiment with what I had learned in the last few months. So I think in total, I'm on about 15 songs or so. The majority of them I've written myself, but I've done some features on some of my friends' songs and other items like that where we kind of collabed.
Would you be interested in putting some songs of yours on the podcast?
So I was thinking about that all day today. I could do a song of mine. I have a variety. I don't know which one I'd wanted to do, but I kind of wanted to showcase some of the other artists as well on the CW Hip Hop, just to kind of get a sound for like what we have on the station, because a lot of the music is pretty good. I would have one. I just trying to think of what one I would want to. The first song I did was called Butterfly. That was when I was just trying to get like the idea of what music was and how to write a song myself. It's kind of just it's a story about love, just kind of going through different stages at some points of just kind of going out and having a good time, finding somebody, come back, and then having it kind of done to you where the bad part happens to you, where you just kind of up and leave them, and then just making it the story of change of like, hey, if you don't like what happens to you, there's probably a reason for it. Change now, and then have that story kind of portrayed in the easiest way I felt was just through a love story, kind of half thrown together love story.
Have you had a chance to perform that live yet?
So I have not. This is actually one thing that I want to get more into with the live scene, because I had gone to a few shows. It was just a few artists within the area. I have not myself performed live. However, I am wanting to. Now that I do have some songs, it just kind of happened. It was all during this COVID period where literally nothing is open to perform live. I do want to do that. With the radio station, kind of started it as like a 3-pillar kind of project, where the radio station is kind of conforming all of the music, getting a sound for it together, and then broadcasting where there are live shows for anybody who is interested. If you're listening to the station, probably going to enjoy a live show about it, and then getting kind of organizing with having venues put on artists, so that way, as opposed to just listening on the station, you could actually go out on a Friday or Tuesday or whatever night we decided to go listen to some music within the area. So I have not. However, that is definitely something that I'm gearing up for once things start to open up again.
Speaking of the radio station,
yeah,
if an artist wants to be on your radio station, what are the steps they need to take to get you their information? How do they contact you?
Yeah, so I'll start off. You can reach out to us on pretty much all the social medias. We go by CW Hip Hop, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Our email address is cwhiphop and then the letters rnb@gmail.com. You can email your files there. If you are a new artist, we ask that you send us roughly 4 or 5 songs of yours that you think you would want on the station, as well as a picture. Just because if you go to cwhiphop.com, you can see a gallery of all the artists that we have. So that way, while you're listening to the music, you see an artist, you're like, oh, I really like their music. I wonder what they look like. There is a picture there, so you can put a face to the music. When you send it to us, we'll listen to it. I have 2 of my friends that listen to it, and we kind of do like I don't want to say a council, but like we kind of talk about it and say, hey, this is what's with this song. This is with that one. Oh, this is good. This is what needs to be fixed here. And we usually try to make it so that way, if you do send us something, we're not by any means amazing ourselves, but we do have a little bit of experience that we wished other people would have told us while we were starting, that we can pass off on to somebody who's just getting started with it. There's a gentleman down in Baraboo who had reached out to me. He had good lyrics. I like some of his bars, but he had a lot of reverb on his songs. And I was just like, hey, man, if you can get a smaller room, there's some effects that you can play with there. And he's like, yeah, I recorded this in my garage on a cheap program, and we really appreciate the feedback, but this is my second song ever. So I was like, keep it up. I mean, you definitely got something here. It's just nobody's born a god with the music. You got to really work it. It's like a skill like anything else.
Exactly. Let's talk about some of the artists on your radio station.
Yeah. So, like I said, my friend was the main one.
Right.
His name is Prism. He went by MT. He was the first one that we were kind of gearing everything up of what was going to be on the idea for it. Then we had a gentleman named B+, friend of mine from back in high school. He made some music. He was one of the first beginners with it that I at least knew of within the area. So he kind of brought my attention to the scene of hip hop within Wisconsin here. There's another gentleman called Don Pablo, also from Wisconsin here. It was him, B+, Don Pablo, and there's one other guy that we had gone to see. We saw him twice. It was a good show. The crowd loved it. They were playing some new songs that they had. And I had reached out to them once COVID had kind of hit, and I knew they weren't doing anything. And it was just like, hey, what do you guys got for music? I'm thinking about putting together this radio station just to kind of get the sound that we have here not lost because of not being able to play in live shows. Because they had really just started doing those live shows. I think they only did like 3 or 4 before everything kind of got shut down.
Yeah. And it sounds like you started out with a really, really strong foundation, some really strong performers.
Yeah, B+ has been doing music for, I think, 4 years. We actually just did a project where we were asking them all this. Dom's been doing it for about 3, and then MT Prism, he's been doing it for about 2 years now. So we got different varieties of experience with it all too.
Excellent. With COVID going on, it seems that growth has been suppressed. After COVID, what do you want to see CW grow into?
So like I stated, it's kind of a 3-pillar project here. The first was just organizing all the music, getting everybody to know that there is this scene of hip hop developing here. It's really starting as a grassroots project. There's no like big money behind it or any big people. It's literally just, if you enjoy making music, we're hoping that you join in. So obviously growing it to just know that the people know that there is something out there for them who enjoy this. One of the bigger genres of music right now, hip hop, R&B within the local area here. With that, then I want to be able to use the station to promote any live shows, whether it's from Appleton. There was one recently that I was promoting for a gentleman, Eau Claire, in Wausau here, Point. I just want it to be like, if you are in Wisconsin and want to know where a live show is, you come to the station here to find out, or go to our webpage or whatever to find out where the nearest one is by you. I also want to, once we get the station kind of going on its own, I want to be able to put on my own shows. We're doing some plans right now with what we can do for having an established place to have like a weekly or bi-weekly show for on the weekends and other things like that. With having the promotion of the shows, I also want to start putting on some of my own shows for those artists that we've kind of built relationships with.
So what do you think your end game is with CW Hip Hop? What's your overreaching goal with this?
So I guess without aiming too high, I definitely want to, right now I work within the finance industry. I want to shift that myself out of there. I've been in there for a few years now. I would like for this to be kind of a full-time career thing where this is just what I do. I do live shows, music, getting the organizing for all of that and shifting it over to being actual career path. As far as like what would be realistic, I mean, even if I had a couple shows where 50 people showed up, that would be a huge goal, because that's 50 people that I put on a good night for, to have them entertained and listen to some music they might not have heard anywhere else, because it's not, like I said, not being played on the regular radio. Most people on Spotify get drowned out because there is just so much music. And just having that, I guess the goal of just being able, there was a quote, I can't remember which interview it was, where if I'm able to play music and people forget their worries for at least an hour or two, my job was successful there. So if I could bring some of the entertainment value to the central Wisconsin area here, which is kind of lacking, most of the things you can do here is go drink, or pretty much go drink. So we need something else in addition to that. So I was like, well, live music's fun too. So
yes, and well missed right now. Have you ever thought of doing an all ages venue or an all ages show, or where you can separate by floor, like the bottom floor is all ages and then the next floor is over 21?
Definitely. Yeah. So I've pretty much grown up in this area. I've moved quite a bit, but for the most part, I've been in central Wisconsin. And I know one of my biggest things about growing up here was there's never anything to do. So I don't want to kind of cut that in the kneecap of like, no, this only is, you have to be able to drink, and then this is swear words and all that. Like, it would be nice to have something for them to be able to go to and enjoy, versus just sitting at home playing video games or doing whatever they want to do. Like, have somewhere for them to be also to go to. So yeah, I would definitely be open to that. That's not something I would want to cut out completely in the plans.
Yeah, when I was growing up, there was nothing to do either. In Racine, not a lot for people under the age of 21, but are still adult. The reason I'm asking these questions is because when listeners, especially hip hop artists, hear this interview, they're going to want to know who they're working with. And with your ideas of growing the radio station and adding shows and then venues for those shows, I think they're going to go, yeah, I want to definitely work with this person, or they want to get to know you even more, start building a relationship with you.
Yeah, I have a vision. I think one thing I've learned is nothing goes as planned. So, I mean, I just want to kind of keep that vision end goal of like, this is what I want to do, but know that it's always going to be up for change, because that's the only constant is change. So I definitely would want anybody who's interested to join this project to come along, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to listen to your music. I enjoy it. I literally all day will listen to music just because that's what I enjoy most. So I have no problem listening to anybody who wants to try and get in here, send their music in. If you do live performances, that's even better because we only have a few guys who have some experience. A lot of these artists that we have are still fairly new. While they have been making music, there really isn't a venue or an established place for them to say, hey, I want to go do live shows. It's really far and few between. So having a place where we could, if it was a young kid who's just wanting to get started, I found this has been a really fun hobby. And it's kind of what it started off was just a hobby because I was bored sitting inside all day. And if they can make music themselves, which I believe a lot of people can at a young age, I'd love for them to start performing at a young age too. So I would totally keep all that open for all artists of all ages to come on and join this hip hop movement that we're trying to spark in central Wisconsin here.
Exactly. It doesn't matter what genre. If a kid is engrossed by what they're listening to and it inspires them, by the time they get to an adult and they've been working on this talent that they have, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely. Any practice you can get is good practice, even if you absolutely sucked on the performance. I mean, you take something out of that. That was a lesson that you learned that you hopefully won't have to learn again. And once you collect enough of those, I mean, over time, it just becomes second nature to a degree.
Yeah, as they get older, they start realizing that they can set goals and they can achieve those goals and then keep going.
Yeah, it's definitely something too that I have younger brothers that are growing up right now, and they're still too young to be doing it themselves, but it would definitely be another goal of mine to be able to build something for them to be able to have a creative outlet that they can now perform on without having to go down to Milwaukee or Madison or any of these other big cities. Because one thing I've been just looking at the math of it, central Wisconsin between Marathon County and the surrounding 6 counties have roughly 500,000 people here. So yeah. I mean, for up here, it's a 20-minute drive is nothing really. 30 minutes is like, okay, we're just going up the road. So it's definitely a community that we could bring together on a fun hobby and as a common interest to build a better sense of community with it.
I think you've been to concerts over the years.
So yeah, I've gone to a few down at the rave, and then there's the few locals here. I haven't been to too many. I think the one I went to was a Watsky concert. That's a small rapper that I've kind of found his niche and went to. That was one of my first concerts. I think that was about 4 years ago now. And then I was supposed to go to a Lil Dicky concert that got canceled. We drove all the way down there. So 3 hours there, 3 hours back just for nothing. But we were supposed to go there. The concert that was playing at the time wasn't anything I was really interested in. So we just decided not to go to that. Yeah. And then there's a few concerts that was at the night school here in Wausau that was put on. It's kind of a dance club. There's a round bar and then a stage that they perform on. We went to the 2 concerts that B+ and Dom put on, and then there was another one, a friend of mine, LF, Zachy P, he's down in Milwaukee, really good artist, he put on, and then Hayden, I think, was another artist. So I've been to more local shows than I have big concerts, and mainly that's because I have to drive to Madison, Milwaukee, or Minneapolis, or these other big towns, and it's 3 hours away. I just don't have the commitment, or I have to work the next day. So that's why I really want to bring it here, because there's enough people here. There's enough talent I've seen that I would enjoy shows around here. And who knows, if we start building it here, it seems like most concerts go Minneapolis, then Milwaukee, then Chicago. So they kind of just skip like us here, whereas you go Minneapolis, you can go, 29, all the way across to Wausau here, and then straight down to the next shows that you have there. So I kind of want to build something here where that adds us into that stop, so we have those bigger names come here eventually here.
Yeah, if you had the right size venue, you can definitely get bigger names out here, and that will help a little bit of the tourism in your area. When you were out at local live concerts, did you see anything that was suppressing the local music scene?
Suppressing it wise, I think one thing I could say is there's only one place to go to that I know of. So that kind of suppresses it when you only have one person controlling the show. You have to go through one person to get it booked, or if they have another venue there, they usually do DJs just because they're trying to pull in their most money. I mean, live shows of no names you've really never heard doesn't bring in a lot of attraction. So they want whatever's going to bring the best. So I would say that's probably been the biggest thing. And also not having anybody know that there is local music here. I'll talk to people and I'll bring up local hip hop and they're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And just kind of write it off as a joke or like just, no, this isn't good. So I think just having the exposure and then just the access to having more of it will definitely expand this market of having local hip hop and more live shows within the area.
And on the opposite spectrum of that, what do you see that is helping the local music scene survive and get into the limelight?
Yeah, so there was one artist, I believe his name is Youngsaw. He's one of the more established artists within Wausau here. He put on a show called The Saw Cypher in 2019, I believe. I did not go to it, but I've talked to multiple people who did go there. And he, from what I've heard, financed it all himself. Again, I didn't go to it, so I don't know exactly where it was, but he put it all together. I think they had over 100 people there. Quite a few artists. They all did a few songs and had a good time. LF was one of the people I had interviewed, and he performed there. He said he did a song, said it was absolutely amazing. Everybody enjoyed it. They had a good time. So I definitely think there are those people who see it or they make their own music and want other people to see it that are helping push that a bit. There's just that miscoordination of having it all work together where one person wants to do it for their interest and purpose, another wants to do it for their purpose and interest, just making money or whatever. Whereas I'm hoping that we can kind of all work together and get more shows more often and of better quality just over time by doing it more.
Let's listen to a song. What will be the first song you want the audience to hear?
Butterfly, that one was just kind of a song I wrote actually in about 4 days. I had found the beat that I liked. I use beatstars.com, found the beat I liked. I had to drive to Point every day, so I'd throw that beat on in the car and then just talking to my phone as I came up with bars. Over the course of a week, I recorded it, and then we got it all done. And that was my first song was within a week. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe I, one, can write a song and two, do it so quick. And that was just kind of, at the time, I was just like going through, I don't want to say crisis, but just having thoughts on life. And I was just like, okay, change was the word I was coming to. And I kind of saw the butterfly as like a symbol of change. And I just didn't know how to convey it. And the beat I'd found, it was just kind of like an upbeat song and wanted to not necessarily use a story that meant anything. Not that it doesn't mean anything, but it's not necessarily anything that's like meaningful to my life. It was just a best way to convey the message of what you do can be turned around on you. So be careful what you do. And that was towards the end there. I kind of wrote like a poem, not necessarily a poem, but like 4 bars of just like, let me see if I can think of it. It's just caterpillars forced to change, colors on your wings forever staying, metamorphosis name of the game. But we have the powerful brain, humans, powerful brains or something, so we can bring the change today. So it's just basically refining that like you don't have to wait for anything. You can change right now to make it a better life that you wish you had.
Something. You like jazz?
They call me Butterfly Man, only got one night, I hope you understand, cause caterpillars all learning to crawl on the floor, but I just wing it with no plans at all. So they call me Butterfly Man, only got one night, I hope you understand, cause caterpillars all learning to crawl on the floor, but I just wing it with no plans at all. Who's that? In my vicinity, like a flower, I attracted, learn she's Tiffany. End of the night, hers coming home with me, but we're going back to her place. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna funk it, sax and trumpets. Know it's bumping, something. I gotta get going, true color showing all along. This was the only motive. They call me Butterfly Man, only got one night. I hope you understand, cause caterpillars all learning to crawl on the floor, but I just wing it with no plans at all. So they call me Butterfly Man, only got one night. I hope you understand, cause caterpillars all learning to crawl on the floor, but I just wing it with no plans at all. I think I found one, her name is Rylan, and let me tell you, her dance just stuns, a damn fine one. But she moved along, still on my mind, but you know what, so what? Yeah, whatever. Plenty other girls here, and they sexy fine. About a quarter of them be classified a dime. Make my way down the line, penny at a time. Still I can't get that Rylan out of my mind. They call me Butterfly Man, only got one night. I hope you understand, cause caterpillars all learning to crawl on the floor, but I just wing it with no plans at all. So they call me Butterfly Man, only got one night. I hope you understand, cause caterpillars all learning to crawl on the floor, but I just wing it with no plans at all. I think I found her, sexy dancer from the last verse. True love at first, alright, not tonight. Maybe Maybe down the road we can start our life, bring her to my place, cause that's the first date, right? Stomach butterflies I give to the girls I wait. I fell for the fate, sealed fate, I caught the feelings and it feels great. She's a butterfly girl dancing around my place. Oh, great. Now it's my turn to chase. She left so fast I don't hit her ass back to her place. She a flirting, it works in her case, cause she got my mental wrapped around. It's not even the first date. I got these feelings as the butterfly man, got the taste of his own dealings, and it's a bit of bad feeling. Now I feel deceived, shit, slowly thinking that I deserved it. I deserved it, I deserved it, I deserved it, I deserved it.
Say something. You like jazz?
They call me butterfly man, only got one night, I hope you understand, cause caterpillars are learning to crawl on the floor, but we just swinging with no plans at all. So call me butterfly man, only got one night, so hope you understand, cause caterpillars all learning to crawl on the floor, but we just swinging with no plans at all. So call them butterfly humans, only got one night, so hope you understand, cause caterpillars learning to crawl on the floor, but we just swinging with no plans at all. Caterpillars forced to change colors, our new wings forever staying metamorphosis, name of the game, but we humans, so we have the powerful brains to bring forth some eternal change today. Felt good.
Yeah, nice groove. Let's do another one. What else we got?
The other song, Hold Me Down by Zachy P, is actually off of his project from this year. It dropped, I believe, in January off of his Deep Rest. That one was, when I first heard it, I was like, no way you are a local artist. No way you did this by yourself without a studio. And just his whole album was really good, but this one really stood out to me. This is the Hold Me Down one. I play that one on the station, and I always I'm like, yes, this is the songs I wanted on the station. So I'm really proud to have that one on there.
Cause lately I've been sick of always seeing the same thing. It's been like a Beyblade. The ship is going down, but I'm not yelling out Mayday. I'm sick of grinding just for a payday. But shit, do what you can when you trying to eat. Feel like I'm swimming with bricks tied to my feet. Feel like most of you wouldn't make it on this side of the street. But fuck it, I'll be fine in a week. But then the cycle repeats. Don't wanna talk, I'd rather hide in the sheets. I need therapy twice a week, but the price isn't cheap. Pick up the 9 and then divide it by 3 for how many shots that I need to kill what's inside of me. But my thoughts are deceitful, know that the mind isn't weak. Always reminiscing on when I was climbing in trees. I don't understand why they doubting me, I'm rhyming with ease. Or maybe I just doubt myself, cause everyone leaves. So could you hold me down, baby, could you hold me down? They just wanna see me drown. Hold me down, baby, could you hold me down? Or do you wanna see me drown? Hold me down, baby, could you hold me down? They just wanna see me drown. Hold me down, baby, could you hold me down? Or do you wanna see me drown? I ain't on myself until I punch the line. Went from crunching time to loving mine. This is more than just the stars align. The shot I took where I ain't need the line. Cause I know loving you is worth the climb. It take a rocket ship to reach you. I go and get my bachelor's, divinity or equal. But you don't leave no stragglers. You must model for novels. I'm falling like your pajamas. Tell me just what you want and I'll spit the script like I'm Java. I don't really need no one, but maybe you here to hold me down. This is something bigger than you and I. Cause if I feel you quicker than the speed of light. I don't really need no one, but maybe you here to hold me down. So could you hold me down, baby, could you hold me down? They just wanna see me drown. Hold me down, baby, could you hold me down? Or do you wanna see me drown? Hold me down, baby, could you hold me down? They just wanna see me drown. Hold me down, baby, could you hold me down? Or do you wanna see me drown? Drown, drown, drown. think they realize the fraction of the sadness that I've been having. I don't want no social interaction, cause the hand that stabs you in the back's the same one that shake your hand with. All the small talk, I can't stand it. So if you wanna find me, I'll be trapped in a mansion. My mind, I'll be safe from bullshit when the fan hits. In time, you know they only stick around if it benefits, then they vanish. They don't give a damn what your plan is. I've been searching for validation, also trying to find my patience. Too much shit I fill my plate with while I've been aiming for the top. Seems no one be understanding the high I need never land. I can't get it, I start to panic. The plan was to never stop. But shit, you know that life takes a toll. If I'm being honest, I don't like getting old. Swear I'm working so hard to ignite what's in my soul. But with the state that I've been in, it's hard to fight the cold. Could you hold me down, baby? Could you hold me down? They just wanna see me drown. Hold me down, baby. Could you hold me down? Or do you wanna hold me down, baby? Could you hold me down? They just wanna see me drown. Hold me down, baby. Could you hold me down? Or do you wanna see me drown? 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 Baby, could you hold me? Could you hold me down? Baby, could you hold me down? Baby, could you hold me down?
Yeah, I can see why you really like that one. That's really, really good. So what does your schedule look like on CW Hip Hop?
Monday, we syndicate your podcast at 4 every week. And then daily at 5 o'clock, there is a Fire at 5 playlist that we have. I kind of update it with the music that we get in just to make sure that it's the best songs that we have on the station for that hour. So that's every day at 5. Wednesdays at 6 p.m., we have our live show for the music that we have on our station. Me and a co-host, Prism, one of the artists on the station, comes over and we do an hour of that. You can interact with us on Twitter at CW Hip Hop R&B, just so that we kind of get an engagement for the audience that's listening as well. Friday at 4, we then replay that live show before the Fire at 5, and then at 6 o'clock, you had interviewed the Breaking and Entering radio station, and I had reached out to them, said, hey, we have 24 hours here of just music. We were looking to get some shows. So we play them from 6 to 8 every week, and they send it over to us. And it's some other music that I believe is from Wisconsin. I don't know if they're specific to it, more of a Milwaukee base, but that's where a lot of the music happens in Wisconsin.
As we're starting to wrap this up, one of the ending questions I ask guests is work-life balance. How are you balancing your personal life with your work life?
Right now, since COVID, there really isn't much personal life outside of the radio station because there's nothing else I can go do. I kind of work 40 hours a week, get home, I'm tired, and then whatever I do have, I have a notebook that while I'm at work, I'll think of things that, I need to do this, this, and this, write it down, come home, hop on the computer for an hour, knock off a few of those just to make sure that I'm always moving forward. I kind of live by the 1% rule. Basically, if you do one thing or do 1% to move yourself forward each day, by the end of the year, you're 365% further than where you were. So as long as I do one thing a day, I always know that I'm moving forward and that I don't have to do it all at once, because I have an issue with really just sitting down and being like, I have to do it all now or like the world's going to end. So I try to make sure I balance itself out, because that personal life I definitely do need. But yeah, it's been really hard to have other than just hanging out with a few friends, and being that they make music too. It's really everything revolves around music lately. So it's been nice to have that support and then their interest as well with it. So I think that 1% rule has really been what's kept it from burning out, because I know I definitely would burn out if I just tried to do it all at once.
Excellent advice. Yeah, if you try to run the marathon in 2 minutes, you're just going to fall flat on your face.
Yeah, and probably quit.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Jacob, so much for being on the Wisconsin Music Podcast. I really appreciate you giving us your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really enjoy the show, and I appreciate what you do for it. So I look forward to anything else you put out there. All right, and we'll look forward to keep airing it for you.
Much appreciated, Jacob. All right, everybody. Well, that was Jacob with CW bhfyp.com. So please make sure you check that out. It's a local Wisconsin online radio station. Once again, that's cwhiphop.com. Right after the upcoming thank yous, we're going to play one more tune that Jacob likes to put on his show. I'd like to thank Nate Wyckoff for creating the music for the podcast. Thanks to our voiceover talent, Dean Bundy, for his great intro, as always, and ZTF Studio for sponsoring the Wisconsin Music Podcast. Next year, Zach will, which is me, if you haven't figured that out already, I will be doing a special segment on Wednesdays called Mix Showcase. I'm going to do some before and after mixing showcasing. So if you are a band or a musician out there that has songs ready to be mixed and would like to be featured on our Wednesday showcase, contact me at ztfstudio@gmail.com. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to showcase different artists. I'm going to show the before and after. And basically what I do is I take their raw tracks, for example. And then I will talk about certain aspects of the song, of what I'm looking to do, and then I will play the final result. Before. And final.
LF, No Hard Feelings 2. I did an interview with him as well. This one he had just kind of wrote with two of his other friends and put it together, and no real meaning he said to it, but it was just kind of what we felt at the time. It goes really good with what they're saying, the feel of it. They use some auto-tune, but it's not like a crazy over amount of auto-tune. It kind of complements it. I thought it was a nice song that came out of the Wausau area here, and I was just kind of proud that it was somebody from the local area here that we all share living area with, I guess you could say, just being from the same area.
The only time I switch up's on a beat, yeah. I had to fall and now I'm back up on my feet, yeah. They don't really wanna go and fuck with me, yeah. They don't really wanna fall in love with me, yeah. The only time I switch up's on a beat, yeah. I had to fall and now I'm back up on my feet, yeah. They don't really wanna go and fuck with me, yeah. They don't really wanna fall in love with me, yeah. Okay, I don't wanna think about it, sitting way too still, but you always gonna dance around it. You were never about it, yeah, you was always down and climbing to the peak of that same damn lonely mountain. I ain't really feel it, baby, I just wanna fly. Give me something new, you could have me touch the sky. But I know I'm not the one for you, I know I'm not a parent. I'd be lying if I said that I had no hard feeling. The only time I switch up's on a beat, yeah. I had to fall and now I'm back up on my feet, yeah. They don't really wanna go and fuck with me, yeah. They don't really wanna fall in love with me, yeah. The only time I switch up's on a beat, yeah. I had to fall and now I'm back up on my feet, yeah. They don't really wanna go and fuck with me, yeah. They don't really wanna fall in love with me, yeah.
I see the world moving slow, but I already know. When I turn back around, I wonder where did it go? I was all on my own, I was stuck feeling low. But when she came around, with all the love that she showed, feel the strength in my grip, loosen up as I grow. Feel the earth as I slip, on my wheels to the road. All my bones feeling stiff, but my heart, yeah, it glows. No regret for the things that I already chose. The only time I put it down, when I hate it, no regret for the words.
Took the same one, want me working full time on it every day. The sun couldn't keep my chin up, so I took a pay cut. No, there's no hard feelings, I don't feel shit. Everybody wants their real shit, yeah. And nobody gonna admit it, but they feel shit. They wanna keep their life a secret. So they told me, go to work or make music with my best friends. Let me think about it. But they don't know me. Fuck that 9 to 5, you know I said hell yes. Hell yes, hell yes.
The only time I switch up's on a beat, yeah. I had to fall and now I'm back up on my feet, yeah. They don't really wanna go and fuck with me, yeah. They don't really wanna fall in love with me, yeah. The only time I switch up's on a beat, yeah. I had to fall and now I'm back